everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Isolation Interviews with me, Rob Harkavy, and only on Out News Global. Now, today we have a world exclusive, which I know you're just going to love. We're going to be debuting my next guest's brand new video. So without any more unnecessary preamble, let's give a resounding Out News Global welcome to the supremely, and actually slightly annoyingly, talented Lloren. Hello, Lloren.
Hello. That's quite an announcement. If you could just follow me around everywhere and announce me, that would be wonderful.
You know what? It's the best offer I've had all day, so I'm not ruling it out. Hang on a minute, before we even start on the interview, is the takeout that Lloren has asked Rob Harkavy to be her bitch? Is that where you're going with that?
This is the real news story here. Let's face it.
So I think we'll leave that to the after midnight version of these interviews. So the first question with startling unoriginality is the same question that almost everybody gets. And it's, how has lockdown been for you?
I'm one of those rare people that, as much as I'm quite a social person and I enjoy social interactions, I also am quite happy in the solitude. I can lock myself away in my studio and create and not worry at all about. I mean, time just seems to slip by, and before I know it, I'm like 3 songs deep, and I'm like, where is this week gone? Yeah. So for me, it's been quite good.
Well, that's excellent. Now, you rose to fame in the 2018 season of The Voice, although that wasn't the start of your career, but I think it's fair to say that that's how you got most eyeballs and luggols on your music. What was the whole experience like? I've spoken to a few people in this isolation interview series who are on X Factor, but I'm a voice virgin. So what's the experience like? And what was it like being mentored by Ollie Murs?
So it's actually really surreal because you get to peek behind the curtain, and I've never watched a TV show in the same way again. I feel like I'm going to get told off for giving away secrets here, but a lot of what you see that's filmed, there's been 4 or 5 versions or 4 or 5 takes of exactly the same conversations happening, and that for me was just a bit, strange, because I'm just me, and I'm like, sorry, you want me to say that again? But it was just, that was just a joke. And they're like, no, could you say it more like this? I'm like, no. So I found that really weird, and it's really funny to watch other reality shows now, like, because they all follow quite a similar sort of pattern. And then the second part of your question, Ollie is an absolute dream. He's such a babe. He still messages now and we keep in contact, and a lot of these things you think, you don't actually get a lot of FaceTime off of the camera with your mentors. And I was lucky to go to the final, which meant I got quite a lot of FaceTime with Ollie. But I know that there are some other contestants that have not had the same experience, or, once the show's over, the show's over. But Ollie's just one of those really genuinely nice people that what you see is what you get. He's not putting it on for TV. He's a legend.
That's good to hear. Now, since The Voice, but not necessarily because of it, your star has continued to rise, culminating with the fact that the video for your new single is out today. Should we show it?
Yes, please do.
Okay, folks, sit back, watch, and listen to what I think is Lloren's best work to date. This is Heartsick.
I get heartsick, I need you like oxygen. Bend you down and breathe you in. So, baby, make me crazy. So you're messed up, it don't faze me. I need you like oxygen. Helpless when you pull me in. And if we're falling out of bars or following the stars, I'm with you, my baby. You can have my heart, I'll show you all my scars, my real give me fever. Every taste of you gets sweeter, make me want you. Oh, I need you. I will follow where you lead. I'm a sucker for the magic. Give me love drunk, we'll be tragic. We'll write stories all of our own, the best damn stories never known. No. And if we're falling out of bars, we're following the stars. I'm with you, my baby. You can have my heart, I'll show you all my scars, my real, my crazy, my love, my love. I can't get enough. Heartfelt, heartsick love, my love, my love, my love, my love. Say you'll be my love. Say that it's enough. Heartfelt, heartsick love, my love, my love, my love, my. Something about you got me feeling restless, restless. Acting like a child, I'm being reckless, reckless with my love. Oh, with my love. Heartfelt, heartsick love, 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 love. My love, say you'll be my love. Say that it's enough. Heartfelt, heartsick love, my love, my love, my love, my love. Say you'll be my love. Say that it's enough. Heartfelt, heartsick love, my love, my love, my love, my. My love, oh my love, heartfelt, heartsick love, love, love.
That was Heartsick by Lloren, who's my guest here on Isolation Interviews. Now, I think it's fair to describe that track, Lloren, as unashamedly catchy, what I like to call proper pop. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's pretty fair. I'm not. A lot of my stuff's quite melancholic, so this is definitely more at the pop end of my spectrum. But I just wanted to. I really wanted to write something happy, especially with everything that's going on. And this was written in lockdown one. I was just like, oh, do you know what? People need a boost. I need a boost. I want to get stuck into something that kind of makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You
Now
know?
is not the time for lesbian angst, Lloren, let me tell you. We've all got enough on our plates. Says the video, this interview is not going the way I planned, some corpses. Right now, the video includes lots of images of love and affection between people of all different ages and sexualities. And is it important to you that your work reflects that, reflects love and relationships in all its forms? And did you encounter any resistance from record companies or whatever to showcasing same-sex relationships in your video?
I think it's super important for me. I know, and you probably relate to this, when you're part of the LGBT community or you're part of a minority, you want to see yourself represented. And so little things that perhaps don't mean that much to everybody else, when we see other people like us, it's exciting. So for me, it's just I knew immediately that I wanted to show love in all its iterations, as broad as I could possibly be, because I think being inclusive is important. In the past, I've had people kind of try and place restrictions on me, but I mean, not recently. In the last sort of 5 years or so, or certainly the last couple of years where I've really kind of started my career, I've not had anybody against it. Actually, people have been quite for and quite pro, which makes me very happy. So yeah, it's creating this one was just never a question as whether or not we would only show a certain type. I'm a queer woman, so why wouldn't I represent and show other queer people and other people of color? I'm also mixed race. Caribbean Irish, a very weird mix. But So it's really important for me to see, you know, for me to see people like myself. So I want other people like me to see themselves in
We need
art.
Caribbean Irish people represented in the media.
I know. All those Caribbean Irish people out there are all like, wow.
Completely marginalised. The reason why I asked the original question, which was about same-sex representation, if we can wind back about 3 hours, is that I do know through my work, I know a couple of young, probably even younger than you, lesbians and bisexual women who are kind of starting out in the music business, and they've actually been advised by their management to keep their sexuality under wraps. Have you ever, not necessarily personally, but is this something you've come across in the business?
Yes, I have personally. When it was a very long time ago, and it was before I was Lloren, and it was when I was sort of just starting out and gigging in bars and pubs and anywhere that would take me, and I had very poor management. And the guy that I had, I mean, I've been with my partner for 10 years now, so it was at the start of our relationship.
12?
I know. Look, it's just Botox. No, it's not. I haven't got any Botox. It's the Caribbean Irish skin.
Oh,
That's what it is.
excellent, yeah.
But he actually said at the time, you know, he'd talked about the question of whether or not this should be something that I put out there. And I remember being completely shocked, like, well, I can't exactly hide it. I'm like, I'm literally dating a woman. You know, I was like, it's not something that I can, you know, or I want to hide. So I did come up against that, but I mean, he didn't last very long. So, so yeah, it wasn't an issue for very much time at all. Because
another thing that's reported, especially by young women in the music industry, and you know, if there's one thing that Me Too has done, is it's raised awareness about this. It's that the music business, without putting too fine a point of it, can be a dangerous place, a very dangerous place for young women. Have you experienced any of that in your career? Have you actually managed to kind of navigate away from predatory men in positions of power?
No, I think like every young artist, every young female artist, I have experienced that, and unfortunately, it's something that's still an issue. I think it is getting better. I think that, you know, things are starting to change for the better. Not quick enough, but I think people are definitely much more aware of it. You know, there is this issue with anything where you have people with dreams and aspirations. There's always going to be people that are willing to abuse their power, or try to abuse their power at least. You know, but I think that is something that we're so much more aware of now than we ever have been, and it's not tolerated the same way that it was before. So yeah, I'm hoping things are changing, but unfortunately, like pretty much every female I know, certainly in the industry, yes, I have experienced it.
Which is a bad thing. Now, before we head off into the ether, I want to do a couple of get to know Lloren quick fire questions. There's only 4 of them. Are you okay with that?
Go for it.
What's your favourite sandwich?
Oh,
Jesus Christ, it's not Mastermind.
no, I know, but this is too, I don't want to commit to something. I don't eat meat, but I used to love a coronation chicken sandwich. So now I do coronation pulled jackfruit. That's delicious.
Yeah, okay, folks, you heard it here first. There are so many headlines coming out of this interview.
I know.
Now, I'm not going to have to publish any new content for the next month. It's fantastic. Okay, sticking with food, chocolate or cheese?
Oh, chocolate.
Nice.
Easy.
Beach holiday or city break?
Oh, I like both. I would say city break. I'm an explorer.
Yeah.
I do love sunbathing on the beach, but it can get a bit boring if you have too much of it.
And then finally, and bearing in mind we all know you're in a relationship, Netflix and chill or party till dawn?
Oh, Netflix and chill.
You see, I thought you were going to say the other thing, not because I don't think you're into Netflix and chilling, but I thought during lockdown, all we've bloody done is Netflix and chill.
Oh yeah, okay, that's very true. If we're living in the normal world, I would pick Netflix and chill, but I am desperate for a party now.
I just want to go to the pub. Have you found that when you watch stuff on telly and it's scenes of people in pubs and stuff, instinctively you think, hang on, you know, it kind of makes you jolt a bit because it is so far away from our normal life right now.
It makes me want to drink, which is really bad because I'm trying dry January. But every time I see somebody with a glass of wine or something on the telly, I'm like, oh, we could just have a glass, love, couldn't we? And then I need to remind myself that, you know, that actually is still a working week and I need to be a functional human being and not drink on a Monday.
Each day seems to be sort of melding into each other, and there really isn't such a thing as a weekend anymore, is there? It's oh God, it's bloody awful, and I can't wait for it to be over, and I'm sure you echo me with that.
Yeah.
Sadly, Lloren, the clock has beaten us. And honestly, I've done more than 70 of these since the first lockdown in March, and this has been hilarious, and I think it's my favourite to date. So it only remains for me to say thank you for joining us, and I know people out there in Out News Global Land, you're going to join me in wishing Lloren much love, luck, and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Heartsick. God, this is fucking shit. How can you put this shit out? What do you mean mute? Mute? Oh. I should leave that in, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should.